The second topic in the algebra section is going to be on worded formula. Now this follows quite closely substitution, except rather than just having letters on their own, we're going to have words to put numbers in place of. So if you have a look at a past paper question, it's hire with us excellent rate, so it's car hire, and it says the cost is equal to the number of days times by £60 plus the handling fee. Okay, so you've got three different things here. You've got the cost, you've got the number of days, and you've got the handling fee. The £60 is constant, so that stays the same. You've got two parts to the question. On the left is part A, and this tends to be the easier part of it, so to speak. And then on the right is part B. This is slightly harder because you're working backwards. Okay, so we'll have a look at part A first of all. Find the cost when the number of days is 5 and the handling fee is £40. So I'm just going to pick out what parts of that question is important. So you've got the 5 days and the handling fee is £40. All I'm going to do now, I'm going to replace the information I've got from the little question into my formula, and that's going to allow me to work out the cost. If I've got 2, I can find the missing third one. So cost equals 5, the number of days it tells us is 5, times by £60, that's always constant, plus the handling fee is £40. I'm going to put 40 in there. Right, now I've written down the bottom bid mass. You don't do 60 plus 40 first of all. Remember, bid mass, brackets, indices, division, multiply, add, subtract. So multiply comes before add. So I'm going to do 5 times 60 first of all, which is 300. This can be calculator or non-calculator. If it's non-calculator, 5 times 6 is 30, and then add a 0 on the end is 300, plus £40. So the cost equals 300 plus 40 is 340. Pretty straightforward. Now part B, slightly harder because you're working backwards. We'll do the same thing to start with. We're just going to replace the words with numbers that we pick out from the question. So 510 is the cost this time, so I'm going to replace cost with 510 equals number of days is what I'm trying to find, so I've shortened it. Number of days times £60 always stays there, plus the handling fee is £30, so I can put 30 on the end. Now this is not as easy to deal with because normally we're used to seeing what we want to find on the left and then all our calculations on the right side of the equal sign. This is not like that, so you have to work it a slightly different way. Number of days times 60 plus 30 equals £510. So basically, this thing in the box has to equal £480 because 480 plus 30 gets me to 510. Okay, so that thing there, the number of days and the £60, all of that has to come to 480 so that when I add on 30, I get to the 510 it wants me to. Now I know that it's 480 for that little part in the box, I can try and find the number of days. So what times 60 is 480? That's basically what I'm asking. You can either do this by trial and error, just doing your 6 times table or your 60 times table up until you get to 480. Or you can do the opposite of multiplying, which is divide. So the number of days equals, I'm going to do the opposite, 480, which is what I want it to be, divided by 60. That will tell me the number of days. Now, 48 divided by 6 is 8. So number of days equals 8. Now you can substitute that back in to check your own answer. So try it. 8 times 60 is 480 plus £30, the handling fee they give us. 480 at 30 is 510. So it does work. So with this, left hand side is easy. Right hand side, you can guarantee that will be the part B of the question, the slightly harder bit. Not much more difficult. Write in what you know in the order that you're given it in the formula, and then try and work out what the missing bit has got to be so that when you add on or take away whatever it is they give you, you get to the other piece of information that they want, the 510 in this case.